Imagine that you're being chased by a gang of armed bad guys. There's not a single tree or stone wall to duck behind for cover. And unlike in a Hollywood film, nobody's going to swoop in and rescue you. So, the villains have you cornered at the edge of a riverbank, leaving you with no escape routes on land. Your only option is to jump into the river. So now the question is, will it be safer for you to get under the water, with the H2O slowing down and perhaps stopping the bullets from reaching you? To answer this question, we need to turn to physics. The fact is that any substance will create some resistance for an object moving through it. That's why a bullet flying through the air starts to behave quite differently once it encounters a liquid. More specifically, water requires more force to travel through than air. And as the power of a bullet cannot be increased once it leaves the barrel of a gun, the maximum that this deadly hunk of metal is able to achieve is to get through a couple of meters of water before it slows down and stops. You might remember how, in the first few minutes of the remarkable film Saving Private Ryan, defenseless infantrymen jump from their Higgins boats and into the water to try and escape the relentless German machine gun fire. But somehow many of them still get shot even underwater, and has an initial speed of about 2,400 feet or 740 meters per second. But yes, after encountering water, its energy will dissipate in mere microseconds, stopping it after just a couple of feet. So either the American soldiers in that film were exceedingly unlucky, or Spielberg might have stretched the truth just a tiny little bit. In order to figure out which weapons are most capable of killing a person underwater, specialists in the field of ballistics carried out an experiment. A special ballistic gelatin, which replicated the characteristics of human flesh, was placed at the bottom of a pool. Then various projectile propelling devices with different calibers and various degrees of power were fired at this gelatin from close range and at an angle of about 30 degrees to more accurately reproduce real-world conditions. 980 feet or 300 meters per second. It immediately went off trajectory and didn't even come close to hitting the target. A millimeter pistol and a rifle did manage to hit the target, but only when the target was at a depth of just 1 meter and was almost directly under the shooter's feet. Action rifle. The shot from this gun achieved fatal results only at a distance of 50 inches or about 1.25 meters of 1,400 feet or 425 meters per second. A .223 caliber rifle, roughly 2,500 feet or 760 meters per second. But even this couldn't produce a technical kill shot, even at the shortest distances, as the resistance of the water instantly broke the bullet into tiny fragments. Next up was the good old M1 Garand, a 30 caliber semi-automatic rifle with an initial bullet speed of about 2,800 feet or 850 meters per second, and didn't cause any serious damage even when fired at point-blank range. 50 caliber rifle. Alas, it too also turned out to be completely useless, so that one would be completely safe after just diving half a meter below the surface. The name of Andreas Vahl decided to test this scenario, aimed at himself. He fired the weapon by pulling the trigger although the distance was a mere 3 meters, Mr. Vahl remained untouched by the bullets. Gradually, as designs became more sophisticated, devices that could kill underwater appeared.